I wanted to bring up another topic. It's something that's you've been hearing me talk about a little bit, which is climate change. And why have I been talking so much about climate change? Well, I started listening to...
Well, you haven't talked about it much on the podcast.
Oh, sorry, not on the podcast, but to you directly I have. So I'll back it up and tell you about Joe Rogan's approach at the moment with podcasting. So I don't know if he's going to be doing this all the time, but one of the, I guess, hates that he was getting, or hate comments he was getting was, Joe, you aren't bringing enough of the opposite view into this conversation. Like, you have one particular person who's got an extreme view. How dare you? Now, I think he does bring on different people. I think also it's his fucking podcast. Like, let him do whatever he wants. You don't have to listen if you don't want to. Same with us. But so what he's done just recently is he wanted to have a conversation with someone about climate change. I think I talked to you about the fact that he was talking with Jordan Peterson about it. So he's brought on two people. So I think Steve Coonan and Andrew Dessler. I think I can check those names. But essentially, one of them is he wrote the book Unsettled, I believe it is, which is more along the lines of, yes, there is issues with the climate, but is it all it's stacked up to be? Like, do the numbers really stack up? Is it being overblown, etc.? And we've talked about that in the past. We did a whole episode on climate change, and
yes, we did.
You've done a book review on, what was that book called?
False Alarm.
False Alarm.
By Bjorn Lomborg.
We've talked about that aspect. But he actually got then, straight after, in the next podcast, someone who essentially opposed that view, and essentially go and talk through the whole point of it. Now, a couple of things that I took away from me just before I dive into the actual person itself, but I was like, I like that concept a lot of bringing on two people with opposing views, because at least in a short space, you get to see really quickly, like...
They weren't together in the same episode, though.
No, it was like...
Sort of like back to
It was
back,
like Joe talking to somebody first,
yeah,
and then the other one.
Yeah.
But I think what was good was, well, there was some obviously comparisons of like, oh, he was talking in this particular track, and this is how he would have like challenged that. And oh no, but I came away with listening to both, going, oh, I can see points from one perspective, but now I can see like points from the other perspective. Do you think, and there's probably just a question for you, so I thought, oh, maybe this might be an interesting thing to do with books, like a topic, right? Do you think that would, is that a fool's errand? Like, do you think, like, I'm thinking in my mind, is that something I could pull off? And I go, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to find, like, say, a topic that I really like. Let's just pick a random one. Let's say starting with why, or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, how am I going to find an opposing book to something like that idea?
Yeah,
right?
well, you'd have to be very specific and have to pick out someone who's already, where there is an opposite view. Like, what's the opposite view to starting with why? Starting with anti-why, I guess. Why? Yeah, not starting with why. Yeah, starting with anything else but why, maybe.
Why? Yeah, it was playing in my mind. I went, like, I like the concept, but I went, nah, I feel like it'd be really hard to apply, like, practically with books or the like.